Hey gang, Chonky here. Today's video is going to be going over the Tower Guardians that are in the Dark Hollow. Now, you might have skipped over the Tower Guardians because even though their structures are right in the middle of their room, you can only access them by killing certain bosses that open up portals. If you are going for the Chest of the Seven in Dark Hollow, you do have to fight the bosses that open the portals. They drop the keys. But I will go ahead and show you exactly what I mean. So let's just go ahead and go into the dungeon. So once you beat Grand Warlock Ciliax, the room you come into next is the one with all the Tower Guardians. You'll know you're in the right spot because it'll have 5 towers. 4 of them has bosses, and the 5th one has your prize. So looking around the room, you'll notice that there's 4 big towers that you cannot get access to. I mentioned earlier that you need to get in there via portal, and I'll show you exactly how to get there. So, once you get into the room, here's where you fight Grand Warlock Ciliax. Just hug the right wall. If you go to the left, you'll find the Mimic boss over there. And then if you go to the right, you'll see this tree. You just follow this pathway up this little hill. You're gonna find a boss sitting up here, Crumble the Mad. We're gonna kill him. So once you defeat the boss, you'll get a key for the Chest of the Seven. Oh, here, let me... There. So once you beat the boss, you'll notice you get a key that's used for the Chest of the Seven. But there's also a portal that opens right here. Question mark, question mark, question mark. If we go through this portal, we find that we are now inside the towers. If you go up the stairs, you'll find one of the bosses. We're just going to take a peek up here real quick. We're not going to fight him. There's one of the Guardians. So, the way that the Tower Guardians work is as you defeat them one by one, the remaining Guardians get stronger. They get more health. I think they do more damage. They become a bigger threat. But as I mentioned before, the Guardian that you kill last will determine your loot. So, if you really want to get all the items, you will have to run the dungeon at least 4 times and do them, you know, in certain orders to make sure you get whoever you need to be the last Guardian to be the last Guardian. I'll go ahead and give you an example. We're gonna go for, let's see, we'll beat Chymora first. Here's Guardian Chymora. She has a couple wizard moves. We're just going to walk right across the bridge and fight the next Guardian. This is going to be Guardian Aeric. And Aeric, he's not going to be the last Guardian that I fight for this video, but just for a heads up, he is the strongest Guardian. So his special weapon, I'll show you real quick because I actually have it equipped. If you beat Guardian Aeric last, you will get this special greatsword. It is unique in its appearance. It has the same stats, the same stat rolls as any other weapon. However, it looks pretty badass, if I do say so myself. So yeah, if you want this kind of greatsword, you have to farm Guardian Aeric and hope that you get a good roll. He's got a couple champion moves thrown in with some wizard moves. A lot of them use wizard abilities, I've noticed, but Aeric has stone skin as well as a couple other moves. If I can hit him with my moves. Here. Okay, so now that Aeric is dead, we're going to go and open up the next portal. Because each portal that you take will only take you to 2 towers, and then we'll go to the other 2 over there. So if you remember, the first path we took was the one next to that tree. So following the right side of the room, you're going to find this little outlet over here. And at the back of this little section, we're going to find another boss that gives you another key for the chest of the 7 and opens another portal. A lot of stuns. Okay, so now I got the vine-encrusted key. We're going to jump through this portal. Let's see. What do we have here? Alright, so this is Guardian Raekar. He's kind of like a ranger, but he also has a couple wizard moves. This guy does like to knock you back a lot. But as you notice, they are doing more and more damage to me, depending on, you know, how many I've killed. Alright, so the last tower guardian that we're going to fight is Guardian Morose. He is a rogue. Whoop. Whoop. Uh-oh, he froze for a second. Well, lucky me. He's not fighting back. I must have bugged him out. Alright, so now that Guardian Morose was defeated, you'll notice another portal has opened up. This will take you into the last tower, the 5th and final tower. If you go downstairs, you'll just find a couple things you can break. You cannot use this door. You do get a couple bonus chests. You get a materials chest that'll just give you some essence, and then another materials chest which will give you fragments. As you come up the next set of stairs, you'll find a little loot hoard. So this box is going to be the box that determines what loot you have. And then if you like the lore of the game, there's a little journal back here you can read. But for defeating Guardian Morose, the final boss, we get another unique weapon. So for beating Aeric, you get the Sword of Divine Justice, and for beating Morose, you get the Cold Heart Dagger. You can also tell that they're unique items because they have flavor text at the bottom of the image. At the discretion of the gods, justice is served to your enemies, and when a powerful enchantress was betrayed by her lover, she plunged this dagger deep into his heart. It is said his soul still resides within. So if you look, this dagger also has a unique appearance. Better angle. Cool little knife. So we know that we get the Sword of Divine Justice from Guardian Aeric, which is the greatsword. We know that we get the Cold Heart Dagger from Guardian Morose. If you defeat Guardian Raekar last, you get the Blood Jewel. This is a special trinket, so there's no way for me to equip it and show you what it looks like. But what it does is it slowly drains your health. So if I take off my trinket and put on the Blood Jewel, you'll notice that my HP is slowly depleting. But what's cool about this trinket is that it gives you plus to every single element, as well as elements that aren't in the game yet. We have lightning element, light element, and death element, and none of those are in the game yet. Super cool little trinket. I wonder what it's going to be used for. I'm excited to see if they ever implement it. And then if you defeat Guardian Cymora last, she gives you two special items. You get the Magnetic Brooch, which it gives you auto loot. So if you are playing the game, it's your first playthrough, I would recommend killing Cymora last, and that way you can get auto loot and just pick stuff up without having to loot all the bodies, you know. But you also get the Magic Cap of Brilliance. Now you'll notice that there's no stats on this item. Illuminates the wearer with brilliant light. Probably not the best choice if you are trying to be sneaky. And all it does is give you a little wisp of light above your head. And then I also have News Justice in here as well, which I will show you where to get that now. One thing I would like to point out is in the Dark Hollow, there's this room where you kind of do a little bit of a parkour puzzle and jump off of a tree branch. As you enter this area, you start to go back down into the dungeon, but there's a torch you can grab on the wall that's unique. It's called News Justice. It's unlike any other torch you find. I haven't found a use for it yet, but I figured it might be worth mentioning since New is sort of a special entity. We fight a boss in the lair of the Kyranids. I think it's the Acolyte of New is the boss name. The one who puts you to sleep and then teleports you out of her dungeon, her room. You have to get back to her. And then you have the Archdemon of New in the Festering Bog. Now, we might have another new boss in Ragewind Castle. So I just wanted to point out this item just in case it has any significance, and we have a video of where you can get it right here on the wall of the Dark Hollow. So if you guys are wanting to farm the Tower Guardians and you guys are just getting maybe a little mixed up in which tower has which guardian, I'll go ahead and put the information right here as well as a little picture to show you. So there's Guardian Cymora. She's in the tower with yellow windows, and she gives you the brooch and the cap of brilliance. There's Guardian Aeric. His tower has the red windows. He gives you the Sword of Justice, or Divine Justice. There's Guardian Raekar. He's in the tower with green windows. He gives you the Blood Jewel. And finally, Guardian Morose has the purple windows and gives you the Cold Heart Dagger. So anyways, I think that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. Honestly, the Dark Hollow is one of my favorite dungeons just because it has so much in it. I recommend if you are farming the Dark Hollow because running the Chest of 7 in my opinion, is a really good way to get magical cores. If you don't want to run the bog with how ridiculously difficult it is and how geared you need to be, just sprint through the Dark Hollow, farming the chest of the 7, and then maybe kill the Tower Guardians if you don't have all the special items. But honestly, this dungeon's really cool. I loved that I was still finding new stuff out about it months after I started playing the game. And hopefully soon we'll have a patch update for the Ragewind dungeon. I was talking with some of the developers, and it's coming really soon. I got a peek at some of the patch notes. It's crazy. There's so much stuff coming out. I can't wait to go over it with you guys, which once the patch notes are dropped, I will go over all of them and release that for you guys here, just so that we can all experience it together. And in the next patch, we should get Ragewind, as well as a whole bunch of other things. All the new abilities. There's new tweaks to combat. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. See ya.